Coming live from Laguna Beach, California, USA is our guest tonight. Welcome to this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through the insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Michaell Magrutsche, an Australian-Californian multimedia artist, educator, author of 5 art-related books, podcaster, coach, creative advisor, many things, and Newport Beach Arts Commissioner. Welcome to the show, Michaell.
Hi, AJ. Good to see you. Let's roll. What are the questions? Where are we going? And let's do it.
Your answer is the question. It's about humanity. Where are we going, and how art and creativity, something we consider as only hobby, actually provides solutions for most of our problems. So firstly, to understand from you, Michaell, is that where are we going, leaving art and creativity behind?
Okay, so I just want to say I was a sick child. I couldn't fit into systems. I couldn't, and then when I went to school a year later, I couldn't understand what they were saying because I'm dyslexic, I'm switching stuff, and I'm dysgraphic. So I had to be aware. So the aware is the key word. I had to be aware of how humans are, how systems are, in order to survive. I couldn't survive otherwise. And I learned with 30 that I wasn't even aware of it, that all my jobs were art related, art creation. So disco, DJ, fashion show producer, advertising, everything was creative. And I could survive there. I couldn't survive being an accountant or a lawyer. And I realized that. And this goes through my whole life. I was always an artist, but I have no education. And so I've written 5 books. Everything is self-taught. And I wrote those 5 books to teach myself. So to be aware, to become aware, not just temporarily pass a class, pass a test, and then forget it, but to be aware of what humanity is all about, what I'm about, what my life is about, because everybody's deep question is, what is our life about? And there's no answer. There's all different kinds of suggestions, but there's no definitive. We are alive. We need a car to go from A to B. We need a human. There's no answer, right? So that's why we created systems like a car industry, religion, to make sense of what is the sense of life. But since there is none, you can't get lost in the systems that you created, because we didn't create humans, we didn't create nature. So it's a higher hierarchy. I'm not going into spiritual things. It's just a higher hierarchy. No systems has created humans or nature. So that's why we need to focus on the awareness of that. And we can't lose ourselves and say, oh, Nike shoes is so big, and Apple is so good, and all these brands, or this is the best country in the world, or we can't get lost in this. Those are all systems. Or this is the best religion. It's all our system that's supposed to help us to feel safe and to feel secure and to make this journey here on earth pleasurable, enjoyable, aware, to make us aware. It doesn't say it needs to be joy 24 hours. That's what systems say. See, systems say it should be sunny every day, AJ. Every day it should be sunny. And AJ, if you are not happy, we sell you a Ferrari, a pill, or we gotta get you a face job, And And then let's say you say, oh yeah, Michael, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go right in. And you get the Ferrari, you get the face job, you get the pill, and you're still not happy. Guess what the system says? Not human. The system says there's something inherently wrong with you. Because according to systems, you should be happy. And that's what we need to be aware of. Systems have to support us, not, oh, you don't have to do anything. They have to help us. And if we can't find work, have to help us to find what work we are good at. You know, what are we good? Because every human is not lazy. There's no laziness. In nature, there's no laziness. But you know, we survive by balance. We need to sleep. We need to relax. We need to eat. A system doesn't need that. System goes 24/7. And there's the stress. There's the stress from the system. And what creativity teaches you when you create something is the awareness of this. Because as I told you, I had no education. I got aware through creating. And then I got aware or say, okay, art is in the system. Art is looked at the product. So if you create a beautiful statue of Krishna, then that's good. But if the society is like, that's an ugly statue, that's not art, you know? So it's all about the project, but the power is in creation. Creating your podcast, creating this right now, milk this moment. And I see you do, you know, it's like, let's milk this moment because there's no sense in life. So why not enjoy the experience? Then in the moment, then you're more happy. And then you don't take it so hard, you know, when the system, and I always say, am I now worried about the system in the future, or am I worried about me and AJ? And I'm not worried about us, you know?
Right, Michael. So let's look at this system versus creativity.
Yeah.
The biggest creator in this universe or multi-universe is the creator himself.
Exactly.
The Almighty.
Yeah.
And he has created, he or she, some people believe it's a she.
Yeah.
Has created systems which make us, rotate, revolution.
Yeah.
The sun, we all go around the sun.
Yeah.
Galaxies move in a spiral manner.
Yeah.
There is the universe which works in a system, and there are multi-universes as per, even in Gita or Mahabharata, there was this discussion in Lord Krishna's life. And now we are also talking about the multi-universe or multiverses. Now, as human beings, we started our living, and that point in time, some growth or evolution or movement of society led us from a horse to a, from a horseback to a hatchback, if I put it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then things were to make us make our lives easier, better, to have more times in our hand.
Yeah.
Today, as we have technology, so that we can have more time in our hand, we can spend more time with our families. But actually, it hasn't turned out that way. So,
no kidding.
Yeah, right. Isn't it? Every innovation, every technology that comes is for the benefit of humanity and give them more time in our hands so that we can spend time with our families, almost leading to redundancy and unemployment. Now,
Exactly.
I wanted to understand from you about, Michael, about this sort of creativity. Where did it go wrong? Some things we had to create those systems to make our lives
Absolutely.
better than the way we were so many years back. But then where did it go wrong? Where the concept of happiness, when you said that the system is telling, listen, you got to be happy. And if you are not happy, then you buy a car. Then you buy this, you have a face job, you have this and this. And ultimately you tend to still be unhappy. So several things at the same time. but so that you can answer them at your own pace.
I think you're absolutely right. I cannot argue any point that you made. Your observation is perfect. And well, I think it's the awareness. I think in order to discover that we are all into the unity of everything, which ultimately it is. You are a reflection of me, and I'm a reflection of you. And to see that we created systems, and we are better in teamwork than alone. So our DNA drives us to go towards other, but the system separates us. And on the system, I need to say, on the other side of systems are also people that have 3 kids and they have to support them. So this is why the creativity comes in. We're using our superpower or godly power of creativity to fight each other through the mirror of systems we don't see. I don't see that I'm on let's say you're the tax board and you made a new tax. I say the taxes are horrible, but I don't see that there's AJ. He has 4 kids to feed. He has this to do. And he has to do the best that he keeps his job. So he has to do the best tax formula that it is. And I'm saying, let's say if I have 4 kids, need to feed them. I'm going to the tax advisor and say, I want to pay the least taxes, right? And we are both the losers, not the system. The system gets stronger, but we are the losers because we spend our time, like you said, the time to you creating a taxes, me to navigate taxes and not pay them yet. And that's why we both lose, the whole humanity lose in creating system, and other people try to circumvent the systems, and that's, for example, one thing. And I think there's a differentiation of systems to make. Organic system, and if you want to say godly systems, is human and nature and universe, and but metaverse is a system. So it's a system in a system, and we are already living in a metaverse. See, the big disconnect or not awareness is that we are already living in a metaverse called systems. We are not in a tribe. It's not you and me on a couple of square meters of land, and you and I just hanging out, and we are families. We are in a system. We'll be living in order for you and me to connect. We need to get a system called StreamYard. We need to get all that stuff. So we experience humanity in an environment that we created. See, it's different than a tribe or a family. A family is 2 people. They say, okay, we're going to be together because it makes us stronger. That's in our DNA. We get together. She tends to the baby. I tend to the baby, and we can get bigger. And then this comes the tribe is the next thing. And that's also organic still. And they say 150 is the best tribe. 150 is the most efficient tribe, because in nature, everything is efficient. And it constantly adapts. And so the tribe is the next. But when it gets beyond that, then it becomes a system, a religion, politics, a country, And that's when we enter the metaverse. When a tribe becomes a country and it's so big, or takes over another country and that is that country, then we enter the metaverse, because it's not anymore humans interacting. There is a legislator, and there's nothing wrong with that. But till now, and this is the big awakening, till now, humans, because we are so adaptable, this is another superpower of us. Otherwise, we wouldn't have survived wars, Holocaust, slavery. So we are super adaptable. Humans can do what you say when you put your mind to it. No, we can adapt. And with the adaptability, we strengthened our systems, our own creation, right? Because we wanted to, look what we did. Look how the high rise we built. It's a godly feeling. Look what you did. You did in the small. You created a podcast. Look, and you feel the God in you because you created this creative power, and that's why I say that's our first superpower. Creativity. Then is dialogue, what we're doing right now, which helps us becoming aware. And then is the adaptability. So we adapt. And I think what we not seeing is organic systems versus organic godly systems versus human man-made systems. And once you can see that, where am I functioning right now? Out of my humanity to you, or am I functioning out of the priorities in this year right now? People can see the priority is you and me talking. You and me not thinking how many listeners we have and when we have to pay our bills, or what a great guy I was in the past. We're thinking right now, we're creating this, and we are now in this moment. And that's enjoyable. And that makes you forget your pain. That makes you experience the moment. And that gets you awareness. Because if you're not right now, if we don't interact right now, we're not aware, it's just, and that's why I think AI and stuff is, it needs to be, systems need to become human adapt. Then systems are perfect. If we can create systems that actually can tend to all humans, because, every human is different. Then, or we put, there's a big challenge, I know, but we put parameters in it or apps in it that, for example, a person like me can be not because has such a strong spirit, but just because if I didn't have that spirit, I would be dead. So this is a blessing that I have that spirit. But people that don't have that spirit, that they can also interact and be part of the whole of the system,
Right, Michael. Right. So now let's you consider as art and creativity as human superpowers.
Yeah.
Human beings want to be powerful. All
Yeah.
that we are trying to do is, all this while in our history, people have shed blood of others,
Yeah.
and done everything possible to acquire power, whether it is financial power, political power. Even today, that human nature is very, very apparent and open. But
That's
when we have superpowers like creativity and art, why have we relinquished them and instead run for different sort of controls, which is only negative in nature? Why?
system controls. Yeah.
Yes. Why is
Okay.
this?
Okay.
Are we
So
stupid? Are we stupid? Are we not using our
no. We are unaware. When you are unaware, you can't blame a person that is not aware. If a man runs around with his shirt,
But then, Michael, we got to blame a dead person. By the time your awareness comes, you are dead. If you don't realize.
yeah, no, we gotta blame. First of all, we don't gotta blame anybody, because we can't. When you're not aware, if I look, 80,000 soldiers died in 4 months in Ukraine and Russia. That is in 2022. Okay, you can't blame the soldiers because they're unaware, and you can't even blame the leaders because they are unaware. They are saying the only way I can survive over generation is to manipulate the system and use the system to my advantage. And that's why I'm saying systems need to be changed, that one person cannot take advantage of a company or a system, that it is impossible. That's it. All systems are all for all. They're not for just that person to inflict harm or do good. It's the same thing. We need to make the system so it's always, because in a system is, humans created the system, and you cannot hijack the system and use it for your advantage. If it was done by machine, you can do whatever you want, but every system is created by humans. And the reason why we are just not aware, that's the thing, is we are not aware of what we're doing. And that's why you and I speak, because we need to be aware. It's not like I'm this political power, you another political. That's system talk. That's a waste of time. What party is better? It's a completely waste of time. What product is better? We need to talk to each other and say, I use it for this, use it for that. A Ferrari could be good for you, could be horrible for me. It's not the Ferrari is the best car and that's it. It's all these comparisons is system talk, and it's never as big as when you talk like a human. I feel really good with you, or I feel bad with you, or I didn't like that, or this is almost, but you can pay for that. See, so it needs to be always a product. And I think once we get aware of organic system, which is godly, or human-made system, we then need to be, and why we're doing is because we're unaware. I tell you, on the example of the war, both are unaware. The leaders are unaware because they think they have to do this. They really believe they have to do this. This is right. But it's system right. Who cares? It's about human right. Is it humanly right to kill 80,000 soldiers? And in human right, no system has the right to kill anyone. Not a single person. The worst person in the world, which is probably a disturbed person, yeah? And no system has the right to choose, or another human to say, you know what, AJ, you shouldn't exist. No human has that right. It's not spiritual or nothing, because we haven't created us. Look, if I build a car, I can destroy it. I created it, right? But no human has created nature, and that's why you have no right to just kill, especially another human being, because we are the stewards of this world, but we eradicate ourselves before we even realize we are the stewards of this world.
Right. But then human mind is a human mind. When you have power, you feel you can even, defeat Almighty. You can defeat nature, and then you go out doing things that a normal human being who thinks about art and creativity will never do that. And as you say, art and creativity bring humanity together. Yeah. But why is it that in spite of art and creativity existing within us, around us, we are becoming apart? Humans, they are, going apart. Why is it so?
It's over generations being in systems. When you're born in a hospital, you get baptized or get your faith. It's another system. Then you go to school. It's another system. Over generation, it separated us from each other, because it sells getting us together. So when you look at an app, like the system says, oh, AJ, you need a woman? Just go on this app and we sell you that, instead of you going and meet somebody and hanging out. And so it sells us what we are. That's why, because instead of supporting us who we are, it sells us how we should be and how to get to be who we are anyway are. We are, so I think and art is the organic. See, you asked me about the creativity. What art does is, when you see a play, there's two leads, right? But it doesn't work. The play, the play doesn't work if not every part of the play the lighting, the stagehand, all these things are working in harmony together. In companies, it's about hierarchy. And one of the sources, you ask me, what is the source? Why is the thing? The sources of our misunderstandings and not understanding and not being aware is financial principles. Financial principles is also a system that we created. And financial principle is, finance is great. Hey, you have a chicken, I have a hammer. Let's get money and I give you the hammer, you give me the chicken. But if you don't need a hammer or I don't need a chicken, you and I can get money for it and go buy milk. So what I'm saying is we have not, this financial system is a man-made system too, and it always brings people out of balance, nature out of balance, because humans don't work with more, better, faster, cheaper. Humans need to sleep, they need to relax to get the maximum out of it, they need to be balanced, and guess what? System tells you, okay, do some yoga class, do this, I give you vitamins. It tells you to get in balance, in system balance, so you're productive, but you're not. It's just a delusion, So you're most when you're balanced, and what the financial system does is it always imbalances, and that's why the financial system needs to be ethical. Because I give you just a thing. What I'm not a financial. I'm nobody, right? But I'm telling you, when in nature, the ant and the elephant are the same. They have the same worth, one, because they exist. Because God, or the universe, or whatever you believe, it's not spiritual. I always want to say that to it. Whoever created in nature, both have a function, and they're valuable because they exist, not because the elephant is pretty and big and wonderful, and the ant is little. Yeah, they both have same, and this is almost hard to, when I speak it, I see how much that is hard to even say, because we are so conditioned. It is the conditioning of comparison. What is better? What is better? And so if nature, we know nature is always right? We know there's no, it's sustainable 100%. Nature is always sustainable, and it doesn't have an excess. It doesn't have a surplus of anything. That's say, okay, nature has too many turtles. Let's just kill all the turtles. No, it's always in balance. And if that's true, which all the systems say, science and everything else, there's no mistake in natures, right? As long as I can remember, we are still part of nature, right? So no human being that exists, it doesn't matter if he's disabled, if he's a super genius, if he's a bad boy, a good boy, has a right to exist. And there's a reason we don't know, but because we don't know, we can't kill everybody because we don't know. So there's a reason why every human exists. And therefore, every human is valuable. And I always say that example, when you see on Fifth Avenue in New York, you see a homeless person. What is the saddest thing about the whole homeless? Not that he's homeless, that he believes in the system, he's not worth anything. And the people react. Everybody reacts, like people go around him, people give him money, people talk to him, people go on the other side, they don't want to look at him. But he affects more people than you and me, because by his existence, not because he's conscious. He's very ashamed that he has to beg for money. That's his last, thing. But he has no awareness that he's very important, because every human, all these system mavericks that walking in New York saying, I don't want to end up, I know that they could end up like this. But they don't want to know it. They're aware that every human can be good today and bad tomorrow, or bad today and good tomorrow. I'm not saying I don't want to instill fear, but everything is possible in humanity. And that's why you have Elon Musk, and then you have Jeff Bezos. You have these that show us what's possible in the system. That doesn't mean Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are happy campers, but they show what's possible, and also shows us the saddest thing is that neither the people that walk around the homeless person are aware that what they experience and why they even see that, because everybody sees him, unless you're just in a hurry on the phone and not looking. Everybody sees him. Why these people are having this reaction? They don't have a reaction to any other people that are the same and similar, but they have the reaction to this one person. And it also shows you our limitlessness. How, like in the war in Russia, Ukraine, you see the unawareness of soldiers, the unawareness that they see, oh, I have to do this for my country, I have to do this for my idea. And the other, and the unconscious of the person that does it says, I have to do this. I don't have a right. I don't have the inherent right to kill people. You're not attacked. If you are attacked and you kill somebody in defense, is a different story. But I cannot start wars. I cannot invest when 25,000 people die a day of hunger, and we create 2.5 times more that we need, more food that we need, and we throw it away, or we let it rot, or we recycle it, or whatever. We create 2.5 times more food that we need, and still we're not getting together that 25,000 people die of hunger, and a lot of kids. And I'm not saying this to make I'm saying this from an awareness factor. If we were aware, that would never happen. If we wouldn't have wars if we were aware. We are not aware. We still believe the stuff that systems tell you. We believe that. This is the systems, what their strategy and their marketing is stronger than any religion.
Right, Michael. Now, you see, what is the solution then? Is art and creativity, can that provide a solution at this point in time? Because you see, 95% of artists and creativity people, they are around living in around poverty level. So if that is the state of our acceptance in our society for art and creativity, then how can it lead to providing a solution? Means it's such a dichotomy here that human superpowers, we are reducing them to almost poverty.
Yeah, but it is not that. But because I thought first it was the problem of the systems, but what I thought it was also awareness. It's always, I'm going always to wisdom and awareness, right? Because that's not knowledge. Knowledge is a system-defined thing. You know how to be a plumber, and you know that knowledge what to do. Awareness is something completely different. And I think, and I thought first, oh my God, it's horrible. These systems, they're not appreciating the art creation. They just want to get money and whatever. And I was like everybody else. I was unaware. But then I thought, what is it? Why are they? And I thought, and I'm sure there's a part of this, but I think when you look at the art world, it is a business. It's a system. Because it's about the product. It's not about the creation. And that's why I say art creation. I mean, you created one example. I get you the awareness. You created your podcast. And I say, AJ, you cannot create a podcast. It doesn't matter to you because you know you did it. You are aware that and that's the power of creation. When you got through an experiential experience to create something, nobody can take that away. They can say they hate your podcast, okay. But to say, hey, you cannot create a podcast, that has no value. Does that do you get that?
Yes.
Creation is so powerful Nobody can take that away from you, you know?
Right, right. But humans, they need practical solutions. They need a practical approach to to make, not only connect with things that they need in their lives, but also to connect with other humans. Otherwise, nowadays it's a humanity which is so much talking about networking, and networking for what? For mutual needs. It's almost like a barter system
Yeah.
which is purely focused on give and take. Earlier, barter system was still about people used to say hello first, talk
Yeah.
about the good things, about everything else, and then about the barter. What
Yeah.
exactly we can and how we can exchange it best. And they used
Very,
to refer each other that this is the way. Then we came down to creation of currency and all that stuff. But so in this atmosphere, how can we reach to a solution which which can actually lead us forward? Have you talked about
yeah.
solutions in any of these 5 art related books that you have written, Michael?
Yeah. Five. And I'm working on the 6 books about systems, what we're talking about. Now, I think the solution, I love your questions because they're really, really getting it. I think I think the solution, this is the magic of awareness. Once you know you are a human being, you act like a human being. I don't need to say change that. Let's say you didn't know that you were a human being and you didn't know you were a man, right? You didn't know that. So now you become aware and say, I look like Michael. I'm a man. And that's woman, they look different, right? And you are aware, like a kid when it grows up. And once you're aware of that, there's nothing that can change. The change happens automatically. Let's say you were a boy that was always, and I'm saying this now in the system so it's more tangible. You raise a boy and have him long hair, you dress him like a woman, and he's I'm not, this is not anti anything, but it's just saying you condition him differently. And then the you say, okay, now you go in the world, and he realizes that he either wants to keep his clothes on and his hair, but he's aware of it. What I'm saying is, the moment you are aware of it, you change. There's no 3 steps. There is no thing. Awareness is the key. Awareness is, what are we doing? Are we wasting time here, or are we having a conversation? And once you be aware, okay, this can be a good conversation, you act accordingly. Otherwise, I would have turned you off and you would have turned me off, and that would be gone. If we would have just said, oh, AJ, you a horrible person, and you say, Michael, you a horrible person, we would turn off, and because we are aware also, this is not going to work. And we have all the gauging inside. We don't need to go into school to understand that. See, we have all the tools in ourselves. So the awareness and wisdom is the key to, once you're aware, you change automatically. That's why I'm doing this podcast, because if I can do a conversation with this and one person only hears that conversation, he will be different. He will change. That's how we assimilate each other. I assimilate you, you assimilate, if we want or not. And scientifically has even proven that when you and I talk, our brain waves change. Both. So we can say, okay, AJ, I'm telling you everything, but you are not affecting me. And I can't do that. We automatically affect each other. And that's a part being human. In a system that doesn't go, one circuit system doesn't affect the other, but in humans, we always affect each other. And so the awareness is what happens right now, and which I don't think is just human created. I think it's the universe updating itself, and say, how long do you want to repeat this? Or are we going to extinct humans? Dinosaurs were extinct. Nature doesn't, when dinosaurs didn't go a certain way, they were extinct. If we have, I think, 6 times killed humanity, you know, the Mayans, the Egyptians, all this stuff. If we want to kill civilization, we know we can do it. So that's why I say be aware that you have a superpower of creativity and know who you are, then, because it's not in human nature. Tell me one person that is not the boss of a war that said, let's go into war. Great, AJ, let's go war, kill each other. Nobody, no human in the world wants that, unless you're disturbed, you know, system disturbed. But no human that has a human sense of humanity, of his own humanity, would even look in nature. Are they ripping themselves? They rip themselves when they're hungry, but they're not ripping. The lion doesn't go, okay, I'm gonna kill this person, this zebra, this camel. I'm gonna kill all these things because I have fun killing. Nobody has. And that's a system conditioning that is me against you, and we have to get greater, bigger, faster, smart. And that's why I say, once we are aware, we will change the systems to be human adapt, and we can actually dive into what we're diving, you and me right now, human potential, not system potential. Human potential is important. Systems, when we submit to system, the systems just get stronger and more static. And we lose more and more energy to make the system work. So if we can pivot this through awareness, we will not create systems that just take, you know?
Right, Michael. You say that we are in a consciousness crisis.
Yeah.
And that when we become more conscious, the change will happen automatically.
Yeah.
Just before this, you said maybe the nature is updating itself.
Yeah.
What do you think? Will that updation wipe us out like it did the dinosaurs? Or will we become more conscious before that and save ourselves?
I love you. If I would know that, you know, we wouldn't have free will, and I would be God. Then you actually would talk to God right now.
No,
and
this is also about this is also about common sense. When you know the boat has a hole, then you start remembering
exactly
if you know swimming or not, or at least if you have enough time, then within that time learn at least to swim, or even on a piece of some sort of a whatever you can get hold of, you will try to survive. So what are the choices for human beings? Do we have time? Do we have not? What is it that looks to you?
I think we always have time. We always have time. We're not running out of time. That's a system.
But why did dinosaurs run out of time? We have already had.
They didn't run out of time. No, they didn't run out of time. They were not adapting. They were not adapting to the nature. The nature changed, and they were not adapted. They just say there was. I mean, and nobody knows. I don't know either. I'm not a.
So answer me this, Michael. When you talked about ant, when we talked about elephants, and when we talk of food shortage, when there will be not enough food for humans, do you think if elephants have to adopt, they will have to reduce their size, or they will be wiped out?
I don't, AJ. I love the question. I love that question. But if I knew, I don't know if the elephant is very much like a dinosaur, right? In the science, it might very well be that
survival is the thing.
Yeah. So it might be very well that for the way we live with nature, because we are part of it, that the elephant is dying out, and it's almost died out anyway. You know, it's not like we have so many elephants and we're so happy. It's almost died out. You know, so. And it's a slow progression. Nature doesn't work from today to tomorrow. It's slowly. Look at the Chernobyl, the atomic reactor. We forgot it, and now we go back and make a photo of it, and it's all grown. It's just grown over, like the Mayan cities. The Mayans killed each other, or they eliminated each other. Nature just takes slowly over and just grows over. And this is for our egos think, no, we are the man of all. No, we're not, and if something doesn't work with nature, like elephants, perhaps humans, we should ask ourselves this. Perhaps humans don't work with nature anymore. Perhaps we have lost our in systems, and nature always brings it back, because it's like the 6th or 7th time it brings humanity back. Perhaps it says, you know what, we tried, but the humans, we made humans the highest form with that they're self-aware, that they know they exist, and they don't do anything with it. And perhaps this is our, and I will say I have nothing against that. That's the universe, which is in all of us. And if that's the way it is the way. I'm not going to say kill all the systems that are not human friendly. I'm saying be aware of systems that are human friendly and adapt the systems, like nature is adapt, not eradicate, not kill a human, not eradicate, but adapt. Adaption is a thing. Balance, adaption, fulfillment in life. That is important. And that still gives you a place to, because, for example, if I say every human on this planet should have enough money to survive and have a place to a roof over their head, then you can still be in the system and then playing Monopoly. That's a game. So you and I would be, we can exist. We're not dying because of hunger or anything. And we can play the play of Monopoly. And you might be a better Monopoly player than I, but we're still human. It doesn't make you a better human. It's just make you a better player. See, we lose, the consciousness is lost in that system. So much navigating in the Monopoly, you start believing in that metaverse and believe the metaverse is more real than your humanity. You believe that Monopoly is the way to be human. That's insanity. That's defined as insanity,
Yeah, monopoly, duopoly, and oligopoly. But whatever polys, whatever thing they do, but the fact is, so many people are predicting that with the way we are moving forward, either because of food shortage, either because of environmental crisis, either because of the consciousness crisis, we may have very strong, difficult times to come in the future, even if nature tries to adopt. But tell me one thing, let me ask the same thing in a different manner.
Yeah.
We come to a point, will humans come to a point where, where we'll end up, just a few of us, humans will end up as Martians, just a few of us. Yeah. And will that be the time when they will become conscious of the fact, when they look back at the blue planet, from that far away, from a red planet, and look back at Earth, that it was so nice to be human, but they will not have that opportunity again.
If they don't have that awareness, so if I can erase your memory and you have no experience of being human on this planet, I mean, it's also people forget, and when you reclaim somebody, let's say you lost somebody, you thought the person was lost, and you thought the person was dead, and all of a sudden the person reappears. You have usually a higher awareness of appreciating that person. That's usually what happens. So, because we're all inclusive, you trigger stuff in me, and I trigger stuff in you, and we experience that, and we are conscious of, you and I are conscious of that. But a lot of people are, hey, how much money can I make? Oh, it's already too long. We're talking too long already. We need to go somewhere else. There is no time, is a system too, a system time. And mind loves systems. But we are too much in our heads than in our body, because you recognizing me as friendly and I do you is not from your mind, because there's the logic cannot bring you to each other. It's the mind and your body and your feeling and your all your senses. That's why you have not one sense, you have 5 senses, 6 senses. And I think I really believe in humans, because I think we are limitless, which Jeff Bezos shows you in the system even, But I also, or the beggar on Fifth Avenue, it shows you our limitlessness. But as long as we are unaware and thinking $1 million, which when people die, they didn't say, oh, I should have made another $1 million. I should have bought that company. They all say, I wish I was with my friend. I wish I was with my family. I wish I was with my dogs. I wish I was with my horses. I wish I was in nature and enjoyed nature more. And then in my cubicle, sitting 8 hours a day, trying to make money as my existence. And this is also what keeps us unconscious, because 8 people own 40% of the earth, because money, the money is not bad, but you need to understand the system. What is it for? It is exchange of goods, not to power or whatever. And every human being, and you said, why are you for power? I said, the reason is every human being is not conscious, because if all human beings are conscious of this, guess what? You cannot have one person or a group of people taking other people over. That doesn't happen in nature either. They're stronger and weaker. And what in indigenous tribes, what is an indigenous tribe? If one tribe wants to get on the land of the other one, the other just leaves. They're not going into a war or manipulation or whatever. And that's system simplification of how to handle a conflict, So we are acting. Most of humanity acts on a very low level of consciousness, and it has nothing to do with praying or anything. It's just they work. They're not aware of it, and that's why you cannot say they are horrible people. They just don't know. The beggar doesn't know, and the people I think they don't know. I think Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos don't know either. They just live in that system monopoly world, and in that they're the chief. They're the best monopoly player. So good for him. Good for you. You have good. They experienced that. If you want to experience that,
Right, Michael. Tell us about your books, the 5 books that you have written, the 6th and 7th one you are writing, as well as your podcast. What's that about?
Okay, now I told you my podcast is very, very, very thoughtful. It's free, and every episode is 20 seconds to 30 seconds. It's just a quote and a question, because I want to do awareness. Because awareness is and it's about the creativity be a superpower. So if you want to be conscious, why am I saying art is a superpower? You need to just read my quotes and think, just listen, or you can read it, and you will know. You will be aware of your own superpower. It will awaken your own superpower. And it's 20 seconds. In an hour, I have 120 episodes or something. In an hour and a half, you have done all of them. I don't think you will digest it, but if you want really to say, hey, I'm going through all your podcasts, in regular people would say, normally will say, oh, I can't listen to hours of all your podcast, but I say minus 20 seconds. You can listen to all my stuff in an hour and a half. But they are seeds, extremely deep seeds of understanding, which I didn't invent. I just unveiled it. I looked at it. It's not my theory, but from experience, I explain what I found, what I realized, what I became aware of. And because I'm also dyslexic, I couldn't do what you do. That's why I'm a better guest. I couldn't do all the editing, and I couldn't do it. It would take me 2 days to do one episode. Yeah, it's not efficient.
No, you can do live. You can do live, Michael. That does
It-
not need any editing, unscripted, unfiltered. The way things are,
yeah,
all,
yeah,
all like humans. The way God made us, not
exactly,
affected by any man-made system.
exactly, perfect. Yeah, no, thanks for AJ. I wasn't thinking about that. But I wasn't thinking. And I like to meet new people. I like to meet you. I like to make other people with other perspectives, and I must say I'm pretty good in. So I'm pretty empowered in my awareness because people are saying, it's bullshit. Only system is good. Screw humans. Let's focus on Ferrari and pill. I've never had one.
And neither do I.
Yeah.
So how do people connect with you if they want to?
MichaellM.com. Michael with 2 L's, M.com. And everything is there. You can connect, get to a podcast, the books, my music, everything. Yeah.
Right. And my last question to you, Michael, is that living wherever systems, living creativity, living everything else, wherever it is, where do you see the future going for us? How do you see it where we are, from you
Yeah.
are where we are, from here
Yeah.
towards the future?
Yeah.
Is there a
Everybody-
future for us?
And that's you are very system. The system has you, AJ. Because if I could say the future, if I wasn't aware about what future is, that it is a mind construct. Because right now, whatever you and I do, we can alter the future. I mean, I could say right now, the future is going to be great. Yeah. And in a moment, it could be bad. So we have all the power. We are the universe. Remember, we are part of the whole. So every person has the. We can have a wave where it's an ebb. There's no thing, and then the wave comes and it's the flow. That we are all energy. We are all going like the weeds. So anybody that says he knows the future is a guess. And how many at the year 2000, right? Everybody knew what's going to happen, and nothing happened what they said. Nothing. And so what I'm saying is that's why the moment that we are now, AJ, is the most powerful moment because we're experiencing right now. And that's why it's real. We don't experience in a month or tomorrow. We experience right now. And tomorrow everything can happen. The world can get one consciousness and everything is enlightened or everything is dark. I mean, we didn't know we had a war, a third world war starting. We didn't know. And nobody predicted it, by the way, either. Nobody. Even though now they see all the signs because people were unconscious, but nobody could have predicted it.
Wonderful, Michael. You have put it like the best way possible. That everything is in the now at this moment, and I can tell you there were so many hundreds and thousands of moments in the 59 minutes, 53 seconds, 54 seconds that we have been talking about.
Yeah,
talking on.
Yeah,
so
you got it, AJ. You got it. You got
it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you on this. So, on this note, Michael, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome anytime again if you need anything. Yeah, let's do it.